Are we live? I think we are. Cool. All right. So give it a few minutes here to see who jumps on. Okay, guys. So I'm just gonna ramble for the first couple minutes, and then, like usual, if you can't watch the whole thing, I'm going to put this up on YouTube, or if you're a client, I'm going to put this in our Facebook community page. So you're going to see me looking up and down. I have my notes up over here. I have Instagram and Facebook going at the same time. The reason for that, my brother is not here. He's actually flying up to be with us for this weekend. So we have our baby shower this weekend. So I'm going to be with my family. And then next week, I'm going to be up in Maine. So I'll be working from up there. It's going to be a workcation, not a true vacation this time. All right. Let's see if anyone's jumped on. So again, like usual, guys, if you have any questions, just post them in the comments. Again, we're going to go over meal prepping with a busy schedule. That was what you guys voted on most in the poll, so that's what we're going to cover today. And also meal prepping on a budget. So I know some of you don't have the biggest budget in the world. That's fine. Or sometimes you just want to save some money for an upcoming trip or something you want to buy. So we're going to go over some tips there on how to save money with meal prepping or just eating healthy in general. So give it like another minute. Let's see. Okay, cool. So I got all my notes. All right. So again, one more time, I'm going to flip this around because my hair is doing something weird. Again, this is going to be on YouTube, so I think it updates automatically on Instagram. It'll be in the link tree. On Facebook, again, if you're part of the my Facebook community, it's going to be posted in there. So I'm going to do the old thumb thing on the camera. All right, let's get into it, guys. So talking about meal prepping, and let's start just with the basics. So meal prepping tends to be this like big ominous thing. We see Instagram with these influencers doing these like gourmet meals, and it doesn't need to be that. It can be super, super simple. And sometimes you get bored, and simple's not, not quite enough for you, or you'd rather go out to eat with your coworkers than eat chicken, rice, and broccoli for the thousandth time. So we're going to go over some things there. So let's start with the basics. So what's a healthy meal when you're meal prepping? So you want to start with four things. You want to start with a protein, a carb, a fat, and a veggie. So once we get into it, you'll see sometimes there's some of them cross categories. They're in multiple, but you want to start with a source of protein. You want to start with a carb, a veggie, and a fat. There's your basics. So let's jump into what counts for a protein. So protein, pretty easy. Chicken, beef, pork, fish. Those are going to be the main ones, but also yogurt, protein powder, and eggs. Those are all good sources of protein. So what you want to do is plan for one of those per meal. So if you're doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner, pick one of those. If you're vegetarian, vegan, beans would go there. Again, so there's six options, right? One, two, seven options, seven options for you. So if you rotate that through, that's one for every day of the week, if you want to view it like that. So chicken, beef, pork, fish, yogurt, protein powder, eggs. Now, most of you aren't going to eat yogurt for lunch or anything. So again, mix it up, but there's seven options right there. Serving size for that is going to be 4 to 8 ounces. So women I generally have 4 ounces, men 8 ounces. You can use your hand, the precision nutrition technique. Palm of your protein, one for women, two for men. From there, servings for carbs. So options: rice, potato, sweet potato, oats, quinoa, pasta. Guys, you can have pasta on your diet and still lose weight. You can still reach your goals eating pasta. You just have to portion it. That's what nobody likes to do. Um, bread and wraps. So bread can be a little tricky. Just check the nutrition labels. Sometimes, if it's not crazy big, it's really not that high in carbs. The issue people run into is they don't put a lot of protein in there, and then your protein serving is really small. But you can still have it. Wraps are a little bit better when you're dieting because you can stick more protein in there and get a full serving of protein. And then fruit. So end of the day, if you're meal prepping and you don't have enough rice or something, just throw an apple in your bag. Veggies, this could be a super long list, so we're not going to go too far into it, but you guys know broccoli, green beans, spinach, salad greens, so any leafy greens there, tomatoes, carrots, cucumbers. You can't, like, the list goes on. Go into the produce section, look at all the veggies. There you go. That's your whole thing. But for super convenient with meal prep, frozen veggies, especially like if you meal prep for a week, because you can just open up the bag. You can let them thaw out for one, but you don't have to. You can literally just open up the bag, dump them in, and it's prepped for you. Like all you have to do is heat it up. So frozen veggies are super convenient. You can do fresh. I love doing fresh, especially now in summer, but come winter, or winter with the holidays especially, or if you have any like big events coming up where your weekend's gonna be packed, like just buy a few bags of frozen veggies and you barely have to do anything. Even the microwave bags, literally throw in the microwave for 2 minutes. Fats. So this is where like a lot of the clients coming on board with me are kind of struggling a little bit because you're not sure what a good source of fat is. So avocados, nuts. You can do cheese on the meal prep. You just have to be really, really careful with portion sizes. You can't just have a ton of cheese or those calories are going to skyrocket, unfortunately. But if you're meal prepping salads and you want to throw some feta on there, there's your fat. Just don't do feta with avocado with almonds because now it's an 800 calorie salad. Olive oil, butter can be used. And then sometimes your protein source is going to be a source of fat. So fattier cuts of steak or beef, I should say. So if you do a steak for dinner, that's going to be your protein and your fat. Don't have like an additional fat. Like don't have steak with avocado unless you're keto because your calories are going to be sky high. Egg yolks. So if you do eggs in the morning, that's a protein and fat all in one, and full fat dairy. So if you get the yogurt and you get the full fat dairy with the whole milk dairy, that's going to be a good source of fat along with the protein. Oh, there's my brother. He jumped on. I guess he's not flying right now, or he landed. Now, Benj, now I lost my train of thought. You had to go and disturb me. Okay, so let's jump into. So we went over everything. So at airport. So we went over what you need in the meal, the protein, carbs, veggies, fat, and then we're going to go over your ideas now. So now you have flight delayed. Oh, that sucks. So now we're going to go over everything you need to do to put your meals together. So easiest way to start with meal prep is think of your protein. So think of what you're going to do for the protein source because generally that takes the most time to prep. So super easy is just like grill some chicken or roast some chicken in the oven. I'm a big proponent. Just buy some rotisserie chickens. You have zero time in the week. You run to the store, grab 1, 2, even 3 of them, and they're easy to shred. You can literally shred them, and you have shredded chicken for the week. And they're salted, so excuse me. You can basically do whatever flavor you want, but you can do like barbecue chicken with it. Super, super simple. Or just buy a whole chicken and slow cook it or throw it in an Instant Pot. So you can slow cook the whole thing till it falls apart. There's your shredded chicken. Or just do the Instant Pot and it's done in like 30 minutes. I think it's 30 minutes for a whole chicken in an Instant Pot. So if you have an Instant Pot, use it. Other options for protein that are super simple and affordable are going to be like ground beef, ground turkey. Ground turkey is actually sometimes a little bit more, but those are other options. You can do burgers, meatballs, meatloaf. Those are all great meal prep options. Meatloaf is more like fall, winter, you'll do that. But here in the summer, you're going to do burgers and meatballs a lot. Like, there you go. Meatballs are super convenient because serving size is literally like, okay, I know they're 1 ounce each. I need 3 or 4 ounces for a meal. You literally grab 3 or 4. Burgers, you can just weigh it out. 4-ounce patty, that's usually the standard I do. There's your 4 ounces each. What did you say, Benj? Yeah, so my brother did the rotisserie chickens last week. So there's your protein. So either like super easy chicken or ground beef, ground turkey. There's your meal prep ideas. And if you have zero time, rotisserie chicken, and again, zero time to do anything, grab some deli beef. You know, healthiest option in the world? No, but it's better than going out to eat. So just grab some deli meat, have that on hand. And my brother brought up a good point in the comments on Instagram. You can throw if with the ground stuff like burgers, meatballs, meatloaf, you can throw your veggies in there, and then it's kind of all in one. And we're going to get into that with kind of some other meal prep ideas in a couple minutes here. Just making things all in one. So then start with the veggie, and honestly, guys, the easiest thing, just grab some frozen veggies. Now you can grab fresh veggies, and that's what I prefer. But sometimes, schedules are crazy busy, so frozen veggies are perfect. Um, Other option would be doing like salads, super easy, or just here in summer, cucumbers, tomatoes. Cut them up real quick. You don't have to cook them, do anything with it. There's your veggie for the day. Carrots are super easy. You can do that, but just keep things easy. Keep things where you don't have to cook them for a long time. So if you love collard greens, but your schedule's crazy busy, sorry, but they take like 2 hours to make. So pick things are easy. Green beans, you can cook them on a hot skillet in 30 seconds. So easy stuff. You don't have to get super fancy with it. If you want to add flavor, we're going to get to that at the end, guys. And then what were we talking about? My brother calls them emergency veggies. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. The frozen bags of veggies are emergency veggies. Your carbs. Okay, so this is another area people get tripped up on. So rice is usually my go-to. It's just easy. It cooks up quick. I can cook it in a slow cooker. I could do Instant Pot. I could cook it slow top. Potatoes take a little bit longer. I'm not a huge fan of meal prepping white potatoes, but meal prepping sweet potatoes are great. You can basically meal prep a whole bunch of those. Oats work. Not a lot of people are going to do it for lunch, but you can. Quinoa and pasta are also great options, guys. So quinoa, again, we're going to get into some ideas below here, but that's a good option for like an all-in-one thing you can do is just make like a quinoa salad with the chicken added and veggies added, and then you literally don't have to think about anything for the week. You just throw that in a container, and that's your meal. But you can do that with pasta, or you can do it with rice as well. Wraps are super convenient. That's been something I've been doing a lot because you literally just throw like salad greens on it and whatever protein you have prepped, and there's your carb, there's your protein, there's your veggie. You just kind of need to get a fat and maybe flavor it a little bit. So I've been using mustard, but you can use barbecue sauce. You can use whatever you want. You can use salsa or fruit. So again, like you guys can do fruit as your carb with the meal. You don't have to be like, oh, it has to be a starch. Like some days there's not going to be a starch in your fridge, but you might have an apple or two on the counter. Great. One apple is a serving size. If you need 2 servings, grab 2. Guess what? Fruit's super filling. It's high in fiber. It's going to fill you up. If you've ever eaten like 2 apples and a chicken breast and some veggies, you're going to be really, really full after that. Surprisingly full. More full than if that was rice. Should you do that all the time? No. But again, we're creating options, and we're creating options that are easy. And then all these are pretty budget friendly. Again, frozen veggies you can get them on sale sometimes for $1 a bag, but $1.50, $2 a bag, maybe a little bit more now. In terms of like protein, chicken's super cheap. Ground beef is fairly cheap. You can get away with like $100 a week if you're super frugal about it. What was I going on to? Fats. So fats, if you do like beef and stuff, guys, or some turkey that's like the 85/15, it's already going to be in there. So you're already going to have the fat included. But this is where a lot of people get tripped up. If you're doing a salad, that's going to be the olive oil in your dressing or the dressing you get. But you can add things like a little bit of cheese, some nuts, or some avocado to it. All depends on what you want and what the meal is. So like if you're doing Mexican for the week and you want to throw avocado or guacamole, you can buy pre-made guacamole. It's not the cheapest, or you can make it, have it for the week. Same thing with almonds. You're just going to throw in like about 15 almonds. I think it's like eighth of a cup if you don't want to count out each one. Take a quarter cup, fill it up halfway. My brother. Rotisserie chicken, Walmart. Rotisserie chickens are $4.50. Oats $2. Frozen veggies like $1. So yeah, so $10 for your rotisserie chicken, just under. It's $9, and that's going to cover 4 meals, guys. But I mean, four to 6 meals for $10, and then frozen veggies. One bag is going to cover 2 to 3 meals. So it's like under $15 to cover all your lunches, basically. And then rice is dirt cheap. You keep throwing me off track though, Benj, but yes, that's a great idea. So, meal prepping on a budget, guys. Again, like he said, chicken, rice is dirt cheap. 8 meals for normal humans, Christopher. I know my portion sizes are bigger than normal. So super cheap stuff. Again, frozen veggies. Chicken is $1.99 a pound, or $4.50 for a rotisserie chicken. And then rice. Just have a big thing of rice with you. Buy like the $20 bag, and it's going to last you forever. Or oats or pasta is dirt cheap. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. People are going to say like they're empty calories, and kind of are, but again, if you're including veggies and other high quality foods, then you're going to make up for the lack of nutrients in pasta. So you don't need to worry about it as much. Same thing goes for like brown rice versus white rice. Well, brown rice takes like almost an hour to cook. White rice is done in like 15 minutes. Or you can get the instant pack of rice, guys, and it's done in a minute. So pick your battles. Like, are you including veggies and are you including good sources of protein into your diet? Then you probably don't need to worry so much about carbs being like super healthy. Ideal world, yes, they would be super healthy. But again, this is meal prepping with busy schedules. So we're not talking about the ideal world. We're talking real world here, guys. And then meal prep. So something that's super easy that I do is like basically like rice bowl. So think like the Chipotle bowl, but you can do it with everything. So you take some rice, you take whatever veggies you want, and you throw in whatever protein it is. You can do that for a lot of lunches. It's rice, chicken, veggies. You want Mexican, do taco seasoning stuff. You want to make it like a barbecue, use barbecue sauce when you make the chicken. You can go Asian. You can swap out the rice, put in pasta, and use Italian seasoning, and now it's in Italian. So you can change this up and make it whatever flavors you want just by swapping out certain things. So again, for me in summer, I do a lot of Mexican dishes, and then as we go into winter, I tend to go into like soups, like Asian soups, and that's basically the same concept. Now you just add a broth. Salads are super easy too, guys. So obviously it takes a little bit of work because you have to get fresh salad and everything, but super convenient, easy to do. And then end of the day, protein shakes. So do a smoothie or do a shake. So you have nothing ready. There's nothing in your house, but you have protein powder, you have some fruit, there's a meal. So protein. So here we go. So other than the veggie, you can do a protein shake, you can grab some almonds, and you can grab a piece of fruit. And that's your fat, protein, carb. And if you have some veggies, you have some carrots in the fridge, there you go. I'm not going to say it's the most appetizing meal in the world, but it's a lot better than running to Wawa and getting a cheesesteak. My brother calls those muscle bowls. Yes, that's basically what we ate a lot. I mean, I still eat them a lot, the rice bowls. So there's some tips, guys. Again, I don't see any questions in the comments, but doing this stuff is going to be super, super easy, and it's going to be fairly cheap. I'm going to post this video into YouTube, so if you didn't catch everything, it's going to be there. And then last thing is, if you are still like about cooking, you're not sure like how to make food taste really good, I would recommend checking out two things. The book's called Salt, Fat, Heat, Acid. There's also a Netflix show. So if you're not into reading, there's literally a show on Netflix that goes over everything in the book. Basically, I'll cover it real quick here. It'll take a minute. You want to add an acid to a food. So lemon juice, orange juice, lime juice, vinegar, um, things like that. That's going to be what really brings out a lot of flavors. So if you're doing Mexican, that's going to be like lime juice. Italians, a lot of times it's going to be like red wine vinegar or actual red wine used in cooking. French, it's red wine. So use an acid in your cooking. Salt your food. Salt's okay. You don't have to avoid it. Salt, fat, heat. So that's just the cooking method. So that doesn't apply um, as much here. And then fat. So fat just tastes good. So try not to do like super, super like lean meals. Fat's also going to slow down digestion, guys. So incorporating a little bit of fat is going to keep you full longer. It's going to make your food taste better, and you still need fat to be healthy, so you need to incorporate some fat into your diet. You can't be super lean on your fat. So for what I recommend is about 30 grams as a minimum for women and 50 grams as a minimum for men. So you still need some fat in your diet. So that's kind of some quick ways to change those foods. So take those basic concepts and then throw a little bit of acid into it. So you're making veggies and you're not a big fan of veggies, right at the end, throw in some white wine or throw in some lemon juice real quick. It's going to taste a lot better. Then say you're doing chicken breast and you're doing some broccoli. That's all you're doing. Okay, great. Well, throw in some lemon, throw in some feta. There's your feta's going to be a feta's actually all of them. So that's why you use it a lot. It's salt in there. It's feta's acidic and it's fatty, so it tastes really good. If you're a fan of feta, throw a little bit of that on there. But hopefully that helps you guys out. Again, we're going to come up with a new idea next week. My brother and I are actually going to be together up in Maine, so we'll be on Instagram and Facebook again next week, guys. So again, if you have any questions, message me and we'll go over them next week, guys.